The Eucharist, also known as Holy Communion or the Lord's Supper, is a central sacrament in Christianity, but there are divergent beliefs about its nature and significance among various Christian denominations. The primary divisions revolve around the concepts of transubstantiation, consubstantiation, symbolic or memorial views, and the real presence of the Eucharist. Transubstantiation, this belief is primarily held by the Roman Catholic Church. According to transubstantiation, during the consecration of the Eucharist, the bread and wine actually become the body and blood of Jesus Christ while retaining the outward appearance of bread and wine. This change is thought to occur at the level of substance, even though the accidents, physical properties, remain the same. The faithful partake of the true body and blood of Christ in the Eucharist. Consubstantiation. Consubstantiation is a view most closely associated with Martin Luther and Lutheranism. It suggests that, in the Eucharist, Christ is present in, with, and under the bread and wine. The physical elements do not change in substance, but Christ's presence coexists with them. The exact nature of this coexistence can vary among Lutheran traditions. Symbolic or memorial view. This view is more common among many Protestant denominations, including Baptists and some Reformed churches. It asserts that the bread and wine used in the Eucharist are symbolic of the body and blood of Christ and serve as a memorial to his sacrifice on the cross. There is no belief in a literal transformation of the elements, and the focus is on the act of remembrance and obedience to Christ's command to partake in the meal. Real presence. Some Christian denominations, such as the Anglican Church and some Reformed traditions, hold a belief in the real presence. This view falls between transubstantiation and the purely symbolic view. It suggests that Christ is truly present in the Eucharist, but the exact nature of that presence is left somewhat open to interpretation and may vary among adherents. It's essential to note that these different beliefs about the Eucharist have been a source of theological division and debate among Christians for centuries. These variations in belief are often linked to differing theological, historical, and ecclesiastical traditions. Despite these differences, the Eucharist remains a central element of Christian worship, and the specific beliefs and practices surrounding it vary widely within the broader Christian community. Even though Christians have differing views about the Eucharist, they also share common beliefs about it. Christians share in the understanding that the Eucharist is a symbolic presence of Christ. Many Christian denominations, particularly Protestant ones, view the Eucharist as a symbolic memorial of Jesus' Last Supper. They believe that the bread and wine, or grape juice, symbolize the body and blood of Christ, and partaking in the Eucharist is a way to remember Jesus' sacrifice on the cross and celebrate the Christian community. Christians also share in the belief that the Eucharist is a commemorative act. The Eucharist is seen as a commemorative act, reminding believers of the central events of Christian salvation history. It is a means of expressing faith and unity within the Christian community. Christians also share in the understanding that the Eucharist should be regularly practiced. Most Christian denominations practice the Eucharist regularly, with some celebrating it weekly, example, in many Catholic and Orthodox traditions, and others less frequently, example, some Protestant denominations. These are just some of the key differences and commonalities in beliefs about the Eucharist among various Christian denominations. It's essential to recognize that these beliefs are deeply rooted in each tradition's theology and historical development, and they can be a source of theological debate and division within Christianity.